4 kinds of sentences. At Grammar Songs by Melissa. You have learned that a complete sentence is made up of a subject and a predicate. The subject tells who or what the sentence is about, and the predicate tells what the subject does or is. In the sentence, Lisa took her dog for a walk, Lisa is the subject. She is who the sentence is about. Took her dog for a walk is the predicate because it tells what Lisa, the subject, did. There are 4 kinds of simple or complete sentences in the English language: exclamatory, declarative, interrogative, and imperative. Interrogative! Exclamatory! I know big words sound scary. Let me show you. We use all 4 kinds of sentences every day when we speak without even thinking about it. We won the lottery! I made spaghetti for dinner. Why were you driving so fast? Clean up this mess. So we use 4 kinds of sentences every day? But how will we tell them apart? Let's look at each type of sentence and see why we use it and what to look for. Exclamatory sentences make a statement that conveys strong emotion, like excitement, joy, anger, or fear. A big clue is that exclamatory sentences always end with an exclamation mark. For example, "There's a snake over there," shows fear, and "You just won a new car," shows excitement. Exclamatory and exclamation both start the same way, and they show emotion or excitement. Wow, you both sound pretty excited right now. You found some great ways to remember what exclamatory sentences are. Let's keep learning. Declarative sentences simply give information. They can state facts or opinions. A big clue is that declarative sentences always end with a period. For example, Patty grilled hot dogs for lunch is stating a fact, and Tyrese is a great dancer is stating an opinion. If you declare something, you are stating what you think or believe. Okay! But what's an interrogative sentence? Believe it or not, you just used an interrogative sentence when you asked me that question. Let me explain. Interrogative sentences ask questions. A big clue is that interrogative sentences always end with a question mark. For example, "What's wrong, Sasha?" Or, "Should we have pie for dessert?" So an interrogative sentence is just a fancy way to say question. Yes. But what's an imperative sentence? Well, I was just getting to that. Imperative sentences issue a command or make a request. They are a little tricky to immediately spot because they can end with a period or an exclamation mark. What? Huh? Okay, settle down and listen. You can do this. So when you think of a command, it's kind of like an order, telling you to do something. For example, "Put your name on your paper," or "Eat all of your sushi." Imperative sentences are different because many of them appear to start with a verb or seem to be missing their subjects. But since imperative sentences are speaking directly to a person or a group of people, there is an implied you that isn't actually written but is understood. You put your name on your paper. You eat all of your sushi. Sometimes imperative sentences have extra words or names at the beginning, like "Please put your name on your paper," or "Tony, eat all of your sushi." But don't let the extra words fool you. If it's a command, it's an imperative sentence. So imperative sentences are commands. Exactly. May we practice now? Absolutely. Let's read a sentence and look for clues to see if it is exclamatory, declarative, interrogative, or imperative. Are you two ready? We're ready! Okay, remember, exclamatory sentences convey strong emotion or excitement. They always end with an exclamation mark. Declarative sentences simply give information. They always end with a period. Interrogative sentences ask questions. They always end with a question mark. And imperative sentences give a command. They can end with a period or sometimes an exclamation mark. Here we go. Where can I find the tomato soup? Do you see any clues? I know! She wants to know something, so she is asking a question. And the sentence ends with a question mark, so it's an interrogative sentence. Very good. You can also hear your voice inflect as you read it. Where can I find the tomato soup? Great job! Let's practice again. These shirts are on sale. Do you see any clues? Yes, she is simply stating a fact. And the sentence ends with a period, so it's a declarative sentence. Very good. You can also take note of the way your voice sounds when you read it. These shirts are on sale. This sentence doesn't show emotion or ask a question. It just gives information. Awesome work. Let's see what kind of sentence is next. We won the game! Do you see any clues? She is excited, and I see an exclamation mark. She isn't giving a command, so the sentence must be exclamatory. Very good. Let's practice again. Put ice on your foot when you get home. Do you see any clues? The doctor is telling her what to do. He's giving her a command. It's an imperative sentence. Excellent. And the sentence ends with a period. He's giving her a command, but he isn't shouting. Very good. This is an imperative sentence. So remember, exclamatory sentences show emotion or excitement. They always end with an exclamation mark. Declarative sentences simply state information. They always end with a period. Interrogative sentences ask questions. They always end with a question mark. And imperative sentences give commands. They can end with either a period or an exclamation mark. Congratulations! You did a great job learning about 4 kinds of sentences. Thank you for joining me at Grammar Songs by Melissa. Enjoy other related videos at grammarsongs.com.